Okay, Lydia, next to you for a question, and we're going to try and shut this down at about the hour mark, or 3:35, 3:40. So we've got a bit of time. Lydia?
Certainly. So one of the questions that we've got coming in, that we're talking about the CEO of Ipsos Public Affairs is a demographer about declining global population because of birth rates are below replacement. What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, I've looked at 3 different analyses of that lately for a different purpose. And if you're looking out towards the end of the century, maybe then that becomes an issue. If you're looking at specific countries, there's clearly no growth in the developed world, but it's not as rapidly declining as people think, other than Japan and maybe some parts of Eastern Europe. The big decline is in China, and that is a slowing. We're at that. We're not quite at the completely at the worst part of the curve yet, but we can say for this year, certainly the labor force for the first time in China is shrinking, and so they're right on that part of it. On the other part, looking at Africa and the Middle East, there isn't any decline that's visible on any of the charts that I've seen so far, other than what is very, very recent that we've seen is maybe COVID has had an impact. We'll know that in a couple of years. But so you're still going to get growth. It's just not going to be the kind of growth that we've seen historically. And yes, you will get decline. But I mean, are you going to plan your business around a decline that we're going to get 20 years hence, or are you going to plan your business around the fact that we're flattening out, but having lots of growth still in Africa? Every chart I've looked at says the minimum we're going to add in Africa and the Middle East is about 2 billion people. You'll lose some of that in the rest of the world for sure, but this still means growth. It doesn't mean decline in the next 20 years. Beyond that, anybody's game. So I would be careful about being cavalier with the numbers, because unless you've got better reports than what the UN just released, they're pushing that decline out. And yes, it's decline, but they're pushing it out some years. So I would tend to be looking at how do you work with the population numbers more or less that we have today. But one factor, the most important factor, is not the population number for what we produce in Alberta, or shouldn't be. If it is, then we're in real trouble. But if it shouldn't be. It should be, what's the income level? Because income is what drives the stuff we want to sell, not population. We're not massive sellers of stuff to Africa. We're looking to sell our stuff, hopefully to the part of the world that can afford to buy quality. So we need to keep. I think we've got to be careful about how we use those ideas, because they can lead you off into a very different world. I think I'd be focused on, are we still looking at income growth? If we are looking at income growth, it means protein growth fundamentally, and vegetable oil growth fundamentally. Yes, it will mean some high quality grain growth as well. So fruit and veg growth. I mean, you're going to get growth in the things that create a lot of income, and things that don't create a lot of income, maybe not. So I'd focus on income, not on the number of people.
Okay.